Oh, it's time. Time to get radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Radical Comment of the Week for November 15th through November 21st, 2021. These are the very best comments from that time period, starting out with the honorable mentions. We got Martyville, Dumez, and Juliet India Mobile. The bronze medal is going to come to us from Will's VG Addiction. One of the many problems with modern games is that these companies only care about their quarterly reports and toss out whatever garbage they put together to meet financial expectations and fix the game later. This is the only entertainment medium that can get away with selling something for full price that's not complete. Street Fighter V is a shining example where Capcom basically released a demo version at full price and took months to get it to a state that would be acceptable as a full game. The problem is the customers that just buy it anyway and don't hold the publishers accountable. Personally, I won't buy releases of games I already bought. Re-releases of games I already bought. I generally won't buy games on the first day to make sure they're actually finished games. And I don't buy games from publishers that consistently screw over their customers' base with incomplete game releases. Publishers will continue to release garbage until people stop paying for it and their stock prices are affected. Unfortunately, most people don't seem to understand crying on social media doesn't actually do anything to change real problems. Fan loyalty to the brands and susceptibility to the hype beast is too strong to prevent them from shelling the money out, even when it means getting boned with subpar trash time and time again. You're right, man. When it comes to buying it, they don't care if they get your money. They've already got that money. Now, when it comes to recent releases, I look at GTA Trilogy as a shining example of crap, of garbage that was shoveled out, and Rockstar, they tried to apologize, but it doesn't work because they knew what state it was in before they pushed it out onto the marketplace. Imagine if that's the case, where you have a movie where there's basically like scenes to where there's like Pepsi cans there. Imagine a Star Wars that was rushed out. And then they have Pepsi cans here. They have people missing their lines. People would be like, whoa. You pushed this movie out. We went and paid money for this movie. And then they tell you like, whoa, okay. Well, later on, we'll fix it. We'll fix it. By the time the Blu-ray comes out, we'll fix it. And like, well, damn, you already got my money. You already got the money, This practice is not seen other places. When you buy something, imagine you go to a store, you buy a product. You buy a drone, for instance. You buy a drone, and it just craps out on you. Doesn't even fly. Tries to go up, then doesn't work. You take it back, you get your damn money back, right? If they're going to continue to release these games in this state, then it should be very easy to get refunds digitally, on the game itself. I don't know what the current policy is. I don't know if you could actually take back a game that you've opened to GameStop without them giving you like a nickel for it, But we should have a system set up to where you can take it back to these places, even opened, slam it down on the counter and say, this is broken garbage. But they keep releasing broken garbage. People keep buying the broken garbage. You can complain about it, but if you're buying it, then they're just smiling and counting their money. The silver medal is going to come to us from Art Bell. A contentious new video from Intellivision, a new tank battle game, use of art assets, borrowed visuals, so to say. The game makes a lie of only family-friendly, non-violent games. Tommy will turn on anyone to see success. The votes came in, violent games were demanded, perhaps by investors or potential buyers. Tommy Tallarico has now hand-waved his constraints to whatever the industry says is okay. A lower standard versus the purist. I expect the Utah super religious folks maybe have provided too many protests for the company to meet. Unlike PUBG, this tank game is far too dull, too empty to entertain anyone not actually playing the game. The arcade game Armor Attack was more exciting, but not too much more. At least Team Amico are giving more footage. The game provides time-played info. Both guys played it for less than 6 minutes, so something is odd. Big picture, there's still nothing to lure anyone away from a Switch purchase instead. This console needs a new Earthworm Jim to force crazed fans to spend nearly $300 with tax. Complex controls. Maybe it's time to quit the grandma can play fantasy. Pat and Ian have a nice video on how the controller is proving to be a console record for Miko. Soft press shoulder buttons. Potion Sword runs video on Atari creeps fascination about ending his existence without purpose, despite having a wife and 3 kids, and how Miko stopped him. Yikes! DJC seems to be filming the screen in an unsteady way. FF gameplay, the scrolling looks to be the struggle for the system. Okay, you have 2 uploads you talked about. The Pat and Ian one, did they talk about the asset problems? Well, the thing about the Pat and Ian is I've tried to, you know how sometimes people will try to cut things out of their diet? Well, I've been trying to cut e-beggars out of my diet. I've been trying to. And they are e-beggars. Ian specifically is really annoying. So, if there's any uploads out there that are non-e-beggars that talk about the assets and everything, recommend those. I'm just trying to cut those 2 out of my diet here. And you say there's a Potion Sword Runs video. Okay, that's a channel. They have a fascination about ending their existence, and the Amico stopped him. That's a bit much, would you say? That's a bit much. I mean, if there's any console that's going to end you from offing yourself, I think it would be maybe an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Switch. I mean, not Amico. I mean, I could probably say something really rude, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to. I'm not going to go down that road, But I could, right? So, yeah, the tank battle game. The use of art assets. That's pretty bad to hear. It is. But, I made a joke about the wallpaper. How it would look like tanks were moving across a wallpaper. Are you telling me, Art, that Tommy Tellerico and the team actually looked up tank wallpapers? Or just wallpapers? Like, oh, okay, here's a hot section with lava. Here's a cold section with ice and snow. It would have went a long way if maybe there was actually weather effects in the tank game. It would have. Like, just imagine this. Some weather effects and maybe the tanks driving through the snow and the rain. That'd be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? But you don't get that on the Intellivision Amico. You get tanks going around a wallpaper. And the violence rule, that breaks the violence rule. I think it would. Now, maybe their argument would be, okay, there's no direct violence. Like there's no fighting games, there's no blood, there's no direct violence happening. But the thing is, when you're shooting at other tanks and the tank explodes, there's things happening to people inside of those tanks. Right? I mean, Astro Smash is shooting at rocks, right? And it's okay to shoot at rocks and everything, but there's people inside them tanks, Tommy. There's people inside them tanks! The gold medal comes to us from Blaze Panzer. The way I see it, as much as I'd like to play a remaster version of these classic games, I have the originals on PlayStation 2, so I don't have to buy the remasters. That said, unless and until Drop Fart fixes everything wrong with the remaster, they're not getting 10 dimes from me. And even if they do fix everything, I'm not promising to buy it, only to consider maybe buying it in the future. And no custy whittle, but it's my style excuse from Drop Fart in regards to the models. You don't necessarily have to have top-of-the-line realistic models for a game to look good, but dear Maz, was the model screwed up? And the rain. Don't even get me started on the Maz Forsaken Rain. Ironically, the one thing I don't personally care about as much as the missing soundtracks, though Drop Fart really should try and restore those. They've made millions, and it'd mean a lot to those of us who do care about the missing songs, so to speak, especially given how broken this remaster is. An apology token, if you will. In short, you fix the rain, the models, the flying mechanics, the bugs, and try to restore as much of the missing music as possible, and I think fans will cautiously give Dropfart another chance with GTA 6 if and when it comes out. If they keep making excuses, then a fair amount of people are going to be exceedingly cautious about buying GTA 6 on any upcoming games from Dropfart. And yes, I'm calling Rockstar Dropfart from now on after this whole GTA Trilogy remaster debacle. Yeah, Dropfart. They dropped a fart. You know, we talked about your broken games with the response to the bronze medal. And, well, it would go a long way. I think it would go a long way if they actually had put the money down to get all the original music. I mean, it can't be a ton. It can't be a ton compared to Rockstar. You know how much money Rockstar makes on GTA Online? You know how much money they have made total? You know, I mean, their parent company, Take-Two. I don't have the figures in front of me, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So if you're going to release a remastered version, the definitive version, then how are you going to tell me it's a definitive version if it's missing songs from the original PlayStation 2 disc? You can't do that. It's not the definitive version. You can't, right? And how is it going to be the definitive version if it's actually got messed up, screwed up models right now? Not just like some of the faces of some of these side characters, but, you know, you got Ryder with his arms all wiggled over. You know, you got CJ looking like a hunchback. In what way, shape, or form is that the definitive version? It is not the definitive version. That is a misleading title. Maybe down the road, maybe they fix it. Maybe they basically make it look like the original games, only better. Only better. And I don't mean changing around everything to where things are worse. It is not the definitive version of that game. If you take the game and you drop it and it looks terrible and it doesn't work the same way, and you drop them through areas of the world and it's broken and the frame rate's busted, it is not the definitive version. If they was actually being honest with it, they would release it and they would basically just call it the worst version. Here you go. Here is the worst version of the GTA trilogy.